Hello everybody, Megazord X here, back at it again to give y'all another very exciting video. And for today's video, there's this hot new game off the block, running around and wahooing and wowing and zowing and all of this stuff with a brand new voice actor. Yes, I'm talking about none other than Super Mario Brothers Wonder, because this game right here, I'm in at a hot 92 Metacritic. This is a game of the year contender. I was like, I knew that this Mario Brothers game was going to be really good in the sense of, everything we've seen from the Mario Brothers Wonder Direct, all the different social media and stuff, and all the game coverage we've been getting up to this point, though. But now that I got my hands on this game and I went hands-on with this, and I managed to get through like the first couple of worlds and stuff like that, I'm like, this is truly a unique Mario Brothers game where it could actually be up there, at least me personally, with Super Mario Brothers World and Super Mario Brothers 3, because those were outstanding games. And since then I felt like we hadn't been able to hit up to that peak. But I think this game is definitely worth talking about. It so much so that today's video, I'm just gonna give like my review impressions on it. I'm deep enough in the game where I can actually get some thoughts on it, though I'm not super deep where I can just do a full-blown review. But this game is just that intriguing where I just had to get my thoughts out here, though. So that's gonna be the focus for today's video, though. But if you hadn't already done so, make sure you're gonna hit that like button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell to stay up to date on all things video game related I feel like talking about and discussing. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight up into this video. So in order for us to really appreciate what Super Mario Bros. Wonder does right, we got to talk about some of the previous iterations that we had within the 2D Mario series, though. Because when you look back at it, there was 4 iterations of 2D Mario that we had between New Super Mario Bros. On the DS, and you had New Super Mario Bros. Wii, then you had New Super Mario Bros. 2 on the 3DS, and then you had New Super Mario Bros. U on the Wii U. Now, with all of these titles, or at least when we go all the way back to the DS entry, though, when you hear the word new that was slapped on front of the Super Mario Brothers, you think of something that's new and fresh, exciting, something that's kind of cool and stuff. And at least during that time with the DS entry, yes, it was kind of that way, because we hadn't had another Mario game entry since like New Super Mario Bros. World, and that was all the way back on the Super Nintendo, though. So I think, some of the iterations that they managed to do on that game and everything else in terms of like the different multiplayer and stuff like that, you know what, that was a really good solid game. Then you look over there to the Wii, and then they managed to include like multiplayer up to 4 different people on the same console stuff. I thought that was pretty cool. Now, if you were to take just those 2 games out and those were all we would have gotten, you know what, that would have been pretty okay. I don't think anybody would have felt some kind of type of way with the New Super Mario Bros. Entries, though. But then you had New Super Mario Bros. 2 that came out on the Nintendo 3DS. And this is where you kind of started to see the creativity start to go down the tank, because literally the whole point of that game was just to collect a whole bunch of coins. He even had a silly old power-up that was just meant for you just to get a whole bunch of coins. And all those coins were basically doing is giving you lives, which it's not that hard to lose lives in a Mario Brothers game, unless like the level's like really difficult, but those are kind of few and far between, though. So it's kind of like, they started kind of running into some creativity kind of issues. And then you had New Super Mario Bros. U, which, granted, yes, that was like our first HD entry for a 2D Mario game, but however, it just felt more like the previous games we gotten before it, though. Kind of just felt like New Super Mario Bros. Wii had all the elements from it, but then it's like, the only little catch was like you have the Wii U gamepad, and you're just tapping on that pad and just creating platforms for people to jump up on. Like if you happen to have 5 people playing or something like that, or even if it was just a few, it's just like a couple or a few people. That's where I was like, what in the world are y'all running out of ideas? Like, y'all made really good Mario games, not even just 2D, just 3D, though. So I was like, where is the creativity going? At this point, everybody started to get burned out on the 2D Mario series. I talked about this several times before on some of my previous videos and some of my podcast episodes, where I was like, don't give me another 2D Mario if it's in the new entry series, though. I wanted something new. I wanted something fresh, and I wanted something really clean and something that's just a wild pop factor that's gonna hit me right up in the jaw and just knock me into the middle of next week. I just need something different from the previous iterations. That's when Super Mario Bros. Wonder came into play, and that game right here has blown my expectations out of the water. At first glance, when you look at Super Mario Brothers Wonder, you can already tell something was going to be drastically different in comparison to some of those previous Mario games because we literally figure out that we're not in the Mushroom Kingdom, we're in the Flower Kingdom. They already like, we're going to scrape everything that we done previously and we're going to introduce a whole lot of new ideas and concepts. And that even goes to show even on the Mario World map because even when you're looking at it right now, I mean, you look like you kind of got some of these little obvious areas that kind of look similar to what we have, but when you look at every one of these zones that they showed off in that Mario Wonder Direct, none of these areas look like areas that we had previously explored in any previous Mario game. Maybe the only thing is kind of centered around where that Bowser's castle is, where you have like all those like, like little islands and stuff. Outside of that, even the intro starting area, which isn't even a full world to begin with though, it has a completely different feel than the traditional green landscape area that you normally have within a Mario game. I know some Sonic games, people get burned out on, what is it, Green Hill Zone and stuff like that. We don't get that effect here within Mario Wonder because they're immediately right off the bat are changing the landscape up, at least with the world map. In terms of all the areas that you're able to go through and explore. And then I think that even helps with the art style and direction because even while this is like one of the later game entries that's actually going to be out on the Nintendo Switch, I'm pretty sure whatever sequel console we get after this, I'm pretty sure they're going to actually carry this game over. And I feel like this is going to be definitely one of those games like a Super Mario Bros. 3 or Super Mario Bros. World, where years later, we're going to be going back and looking at this game and be like, this game still looks good and it still holds up though. I like how they also managed to introduce some brand new enemies along the way as well. Because there was a lot of different moments where I was walking through the level and I was like, wait, I haven't seen you before, or haven't seen you before. So normally, you go through a level, you just jump on a Koopa, you jump on a Goomba or something like that. Like you got your standard piranha plants and stuff like that. You know how to usually handle most of these enemies though. But even when you see the Goombas and have their like weird different expressions, like they're about to die thanks to, Elephant Mario, which is one of the newer power-ups in the game, or you even got piranha plants that are actually walking and crawling and stuff like that. And you got like a lot of different other wide variety of enemies up in this game. It actually got me to pause and think for a moment, how do I go about either defeating or just avoiding this enemy so that way I don't just get hit, hurt, and downgrade and power-ups and stuff like that. It got me to kind of think, at least on that level, in terms of how I approach each one of these levels. And a cool, interesting thing that I really like is the fact that they got rid of the timer. Thank goodness, because as you're going through these levels and stuff, you're trying to find these wonder flowers, which completely change the diversity of these courses. And literally, when you hit one of those flowers, up could be down, left could be right. You might got some people in the background and stuff like that singing. You got like boulders, like you can literally have a flat plateau move at an incline like this, and you got something chasing you. Like there's always something different within every single one of these levels that just make it really interesting and has you wondering what in the world could be happening next within the next level I go through and play. And then obviously you're trying to go through and get these wonder seeds and stuff. And sometimes they even, drastically change the landscape so much that a flagpole that you normally would end the level, it doesn't stop there. It keeps moving on beyond that. So I could tell that they had a lot of cool, different, interesting ideas up in this game in particular that allowed it to really kind of thrive and really kind of, stretch their kind of wings of creativity up in here, where it didn't feel like they were as restricted on making these levels in comparison to all those new Super Mario Brother games that we gotten previously up within the series. Oh yeah, and the creativity, it doesn't stop right there, because one of the most interesting things that they managed to introduce in this game is the whole badge system, which honestly, when you hear about a badge system, badges in general and associated with Mario, people can easily go back and relate, oh, this is kind of idea that was pulled from Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door. Like you had badges, within the RPG series and stuff like that. So the fact that they pulled something from a whole nother side series of Mario and incorporated it into its mainline 2D entry series, that just did wonders to me, because while you're going through and getting these badges, there's two different style of badges. You got like active badges and you got like passive badges. And while the active ones are really cool in the sense that you can actually use them during the actual level, so like one of the basic ones to get started off with is like a cap a cat glide system. So like, you can be running, dashing, hold down the R button, and then all of a sudden you're just holding that cap and giving you just a little bit of extra momentum as you're kind of gliding through the level though. That's just one of them. I know another one you managed to get in the game is like a wall kick jump assist, where it's like literally instead of you just wall kicking off the wall just once, you actually get a little momentum boost and go up vertical first and then jump off the side. And just little things like that just give you a little bit of advantages and stuff like that. That just makes the level traversing really unique for people that are going to probably speed run this game. Makes it super intriguing, at least on that level, which who knows how crazy that stuff could be though. But it's not just applying these badges, whether they're active or passive ones, like starting the level off with a mushroom or something like that, or some other mini advantage. They actually have dedicated levels to premiere these badges, whether you just gotta get through this level with this one badge you already have, or in order to unlock a new badge and have it within your arsenal, you gotta clear this one level. And it's all geared around these certain levels though. So there are some levels in particular where you're trying to go through and get these badges, you might catch yourself dying a couple or a few times, because throughout your whole entire exploration of this flower kingdom, they actually rank the levels in terms of difficulty, where it's like 1 star almost all the way up to 5 stars. So you kind of have a feeling of how difficult some courses are. And some 5-star courses, which kind of get related to the special world, which is like your typical like world 9 or whatnot, though, can get really difficult. You can have a little bit of a taste of difficulty like that super early on, even within world 1. So it's like, it's not going to be like a cakewalk going through this whole entire game, because there are some levels where I actually tried it like 4, 5, maybe even 6 different times to actually clear out some of these levels though. And it got really creative in terms of the sense of how you have to go through and actually beat it, where it's like just purely like a speed based one, or you're just doing a bunch of wall kicks, jumps, and stuff off that before platforms start to disappear. There's a lot of different diversity in terms of these really hard, unique ones. So don't think that Mario Wonder is a cakewalk. Yes, it's got to be somewhat easy enough for you to actually beat the main campaign of it though, but there are really strong challenges for those out there that really want to, get within the 2D platforming, nitpicking, you have like this small of a window frame to do something right, or else it could mean the death and you having to restart the level all over again. There are levels out there for those people that crave a challenge like that. Now, the one interesting thing that I noticed in this game was the whole multiplayer aspect, which, yes, they kind of went and tried to evolve this just a little step further than what we had within the new Super Mario Bros. Series, where in the new Super Mario Bros. Series, you're actually able to pick up, interfere with your allies and stuff, throw them off ledges. In its own sense, that was kind of fun for the kicks and thrills that you can get out of those kind of experiences, though. They changed that up within Super Mario Bros. Wonder, because they actually allow you to actually go through the whole level, and you don't actually collide with your allies and stuff. Like, you don't interact with each other that much. So it's like, hey, you have a little bit more freedom in some areas where there could have been like some tighter platforming challenges. You don't have to worry about all that. So I guess in some kind of ways, that is a good improvement. I hadn't been able to test this out myself. I know my siblings, when we were growing up, we messed around with that feature all the time within the new Super Mario Bros. Wii game and the Wii U game, though. But I hadn't been able to mess around with that. However, for those that are like me, where you can't always be able to play it with somebody, they actually do have an online mode, which the online one is kind of cool, but it's not nearly maybe as good as, just a local co-op play, where you're actually able to involve different ghosts and different people that are actually playing the game while you're going through and playing the game. So you actually have like some kind of interaction with people. Like, people could lead you to some areas where you're actually able to go through and explore and find certain secrets and stuff like that, though. And you can actually create different rooms where you're actually able to play with friends, and you can actually view and watch them and see exactly how they're going through a level. Just kick back, relax, see them go through, play through a level, or you can go through and race through a level with your other friends and allies and stuff. So there are some good things that they actually offer online, which it was kind of interesting because we had like the online mode available via Super Mario Brothers 3D World. Like that one, the new entry, the deluxe one, that actually had online up in it. So people were kind of wondering, well, if they were able to do that with a 3D game, would they be able to do that with a 2D game? So my only little disappointment is the fact that they weren't able to, allow you to be able to do the co-op mode, the multiplayer one, with friends online in that kind of sense though. But they did manage to get us some decent alternatives for us to be able to actually do that when in the online modes for just playing with just anybody, randos, friends, or whatever though. So, that's my only one little small nitpick, at least with this with Super Mario Brothers Wonder. And lastly, in terms of the power-ups, I already mentioned they managed to introduce an Elephant Mario, which I don't know why that kind of gave me the elephant vibes as like the buddy system from like was it the Donkey Kong Country trilogy series or whatnot. Though it kind of reminded me of that just a little bit though. But it's kind of interesting how Elephant Mario gets to go around busting blocks, absorbing water, spraying it on different flowers and stuff. Kind of interesting. The matter of fact, they came up with an animal style to actually use as a power up. I didn't think that would possibly even work, but it's kind of cool that they managed to get that to work though. Then you have Bubble Mario, which you're able to like blow bubbles and actually capture enemies up in it and actually use it as a platform. I've seen some crazy speedrunning tactics with people just blowing bubbles and just jumping off of that and equipping just the right kind of badge. There's some crazy combinations you can actually do up in these levels to actually be able to actually traverse it or just speed run it through really fast. And then the one that I had the least amount of experience with is Drill Mario. I feel like he popped up a couple of times, but not just like a crazy amount from what I've been able to play thus far though. But it's kind of interesting how you can actually drill, tunnel into the ground, which I think this is the only power up that's actually not completely new compared to Bubble Mario and Elephant Mario, because we get this power up in a way via like the Mario Galaxy game. So that kind of introduced it in a 3D game and brought it over here to the 2D game though. But it's interesting how you're able to go underground, pop up, and you kind of avoid enemies. But even more interestingly enough, you're actually able to go up into the ceiling and actually do stuff like that, which allows you to get up to new heights and stuff that you wouldn't normally able to do normally. So you can find some little secrets that are kind of hidden above the level though. So nice, interesting stuff in terms of powers. They didn't hide anything, at least unless there's something hidden that everybody kept as a well-guarded secret or something like that. There wasn't any power-ups and stuff that we found out that we just didn't know about though. But between these three different power-ups, they did a pretty good job, at least on iterating on something that's just brand new right there. So overall, Super Mario Brothers Wonder is a very cool and unique game. It always has you pondering and wondering what could be happening next within the next level that Mario and his friends, because you're able to go through and play this game as Mario, Luigi, Toadette, the whole gang and crew is here though. And I like how the fact they even have like normal characters and they have like the more accessible characters for people that might be younger audiences that even have trouble going through and playing through the game via Yoshi's and the Nabbit. Now, this game overall has left a really, and I mean a really good impression on me in terms of what it's able to offer and provide. There's a lot more challenges and stuff within this game than I've seen in the past new Super Mario Brothers entries. We've seen everything new in terms of different power-ups and stuff like that, changing up the different environments. It's not the same kind of worlds that we saw within the Mushroom Kingdom. We're in a brand new kingdom, that being the Flower Kingdom. There's just a lot of things that the developers were able to incorporate in this game that has made it truly stand out and may have been the funnest Mario game I have played since Super Mario Brothers World. And that's saying a whole lot, because before this point, Super Mario Brothers World was literally like one of my favorite 2D Mario games. Right underneath that was probably Super Mario Brothers 3. But oh my gosh, man, I can go on and on and on about this game though, but I'll leave it up to y'all to discuss that down in the comment section down below, because I am curious for those that have managed to go through or maybe managed to actually go through and beat the game already. Is this game now your favorite Mario game, or is it maybe within your top 3? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section down below, because I am curious to hear about other people's thoughts on this game right here, because it left a really deep impression on me. And I'm trying to go through and 100% the game while I'm going through and playing it. That, at least that's just my personal goal right there though. But there's a lot of good stuff to see in this game, and I'm glad I don't have to be rushed to get through it with like a time limit. I'm glad they removed that, and just a lot of other stuff as well though. But yeah, that's probably all of my thoughts here on Super Mario Bros. Wonder though. So if you really like this video, make sure to go and hit that like button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell to stay up to date on all things video game related I feel like talking about and discussing. So remember y'all, until whatever video I make next, see y'all.